So, the pandemic brought up, I feel like, a whole new level of stress in the collective consciousness. Our stress is very smart. It remembers every detail of all those traumatic experiences to help try and protect us from going through that again. Okay? So when you get to those traumatic memories that still house all those tense, stressful emotions, if you could safely surface those memories and unlock and release all the tension in those memories, the experience of everyday life is just much, much better. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. So Brett, do you want to kind of lead us through that?
Yeah. So the traumatic memory release technique, very simple. There's 3 steps.
Mm.
The first step is relax. The second step is remember. And the third step is release. So I'm going to take you through these 3 steps. And if you're under a lot of stress now or feeling anxiety, I invite you to lie down on your back, because we're going to just talk through the technique naturally right now. Lie down on your back, place one hand on your heart, your other hand on your belly button. Okay? Close your eyes. And I want you to start breathing deep and slow. Once per breath, silently saying the mantra, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And you're going to start to feel a greater awareness around your heart. So any tension you feel around your heart, I want you to breathe right into it. Your hand is there touching your heart. Your hand's on your belly button, and you're really grounding your awareness into your body right now. I'm okay. Racing the tension with the airflow, softly letting go. And inside the article in Meditation Magazine, we guide you through remembering the most traumatic moment from the pandemic. So I want you to look back in the last 2 years. This is step 2 now. And you can keep your eyes closed and just thinking back, just rewind time over the last 2 years. Was it involving your children? Was it involving your parents, your spouse? Was it watching the news? What was the most traumatic event? Were you in the hospital? Was a loved one in the hospital? Go right to that moment. And I want you to hold that memory in mind. Hold the most traumatic moment in that traumatic memory in mind as you're breathing deep and slow. Once per breath, silently saying, I'm okay. So now I want you just to imagine, as you're breathing deep and slow, that you're embracing the tension, allowing the airflow to move through it. Each deep, slow breath gently unlocks and releases layers of the tension, especially as you say, I'm okay. Now we're going to go into the third step, which is release. Now you're actually going to go into the memory, right? And I want you to imagine and envision yourself in that memory, touching the tension, breathing deep and slow, and once per breath saying, I'm okay. So you're watching yourself do that inside the memory. Unlocking and releasing the panic from the memory as you breathe deeply and slowly, allowing the airflow to move through it, softly letting go, unlocking and releasing any residual layers around it, any old worries or beliefs that formed, embracing it all with your breath, allowing any old tension in your heart to receive the airflow and the life force. in every single part. And if we just take a few more breaths. And then starting to come back to the present moment with your hand on your heart, breathing deep and slow, once per breath, silently saying, I'm okay. Coming back fully to the present moment, visualizing your surroundings, your body, feeling that gravitational pull to the earth, and then coming out, moving your neck, shoulders, fingers and toes, and opening up your eyes when you're ready.
Thank you. That was wonderful. That was really helpful to me. Man, I was visualizing this moment that my like last year, my parents told me that they were in the house with my sisters, and my sisters had come down with COVID. This was before all the vaccines and all that, and they were, they're pretty old, so
Mm.
so I kind of had that feeling that they could die, and that was very intense. And I was far away, and I remember trying to go to sleep and not being able to sleep from all the thoughts and the anxiety. So going into that memory, it was pretty intense, but being able to actually see myself in that moment, going in the third step, repatterning the memory by going back into the memory and imagining myself like this, saying, it's okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. It's a very powerful technique.
Yeah, and involving losing a loved one or fear of losing a loved one, this was an adjustment. So whenever I'm working privately with folks, there's always an adjustment to the mantra that's specific to them. But when I lost my dad in 2014, when he went back home, um, the adjustment was this: I'm okay here, and they're okay there.
Mm.
So that reframes, and it took me like 3 weeks to a month or so of practicing this.
Mm.
But once I started to reframe the relationship in my heart and not be in so much pain when I thought of my dad, he started coming to me in a ton of dreams into him, like in nature and silly things that would happen in the house. Like I was looking for a tool, one of his tools in my garage, and it literally fell off the shelf and hit me in the head. Thank God it wasn't a big tool. But you know what I'm saying? Like things like that you're like, come on, it's like crazy, right? So it's reframing the relationship in your heart so that you're not in so much pain between you and them. Because if it's all pain, then that's a big block, no matter where they are. They're here or they've transitioned and went back home, right? So what I found was as I let go of all the layers of pain and it's clear between me and him, the connection's strong. Like I was feeling him today and he, 2014.
Yeah, yeah. And thank you so much, Brett, for being here, for sharing this with us. I know that you're going deeper into this. So can you tell us a little bit about that in case anybody wants to check that out?
Yeah. So it's the Omega Institute. So if you go to their website, or if you put in Omega, Brett Cotter, you'll see it'll come right up. In late May, I'm doing a full week in-person live retreat there. I did one last summer. It was great. And they're bringing us back to do that again. And that's where we go really deep. And that's an amazing experience. If you have been experiencing blocks, if you feel blocked in relationships, in your job, if you just feel blocked from your passion, any kind of block or any kind of stress, we get to the root of it and we're going to unlock it and release it from your body and your mind. That's awesome for like childhood traumas. If you've suffered multiply traumatized individuals, we go there and it's just like kind of gently washing away all the pain. So you find like the heart reopens, you be resurfacing a more loving version of yourself.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for making the world a better place and a happier place.